What's up, you guys? It's Graham here. So I'm joined today by Ricky Gutierrez, and we were hanging out today, and I got a message on my Snapchat, a really good question, which I actually worked out perfectly since Ricky was here. How would you turn $5,000 into $50,000? So I thought this was an amazing opportunity to take a chance to answer that question with Ricky here. You get both of our perspectives on how you would do that and different methods that each of us would use. Because the thing with Ricky, he's in an entirely different industry than me. I'm in real estate mostly, and Ricky's in stock. So if you want to tell them a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so mainly my channel is known for investing in the stock market. I think that's like one of our biggest niches within our community. I'm known for buying and reselling cars, and then I'm 22 years old. I have 4 properties in Arizona. And that's actually how I came across Graham, and then Graham reached out to me, luckily, right? But yeah.
Don't you mean Graham?
Yeah, Graham. Oh, we're going to come up with a new apparel called Graham Apparel. Let me know what you guys think. It's going to be a Graham, so.
Yeah, we have an ICO dropping early 2018. Stay tuned. So anyway, I think we should just jump right into it. How would you turn 5,000 into 50,000 doing what you've learned and what you've been doing over the past few years?
Definitely. So I think one of the most effective ways, I think a more traditional way, I'm going to do this because real estate is kind of a traditional way for investing. So knowing that your audience comes from that background, I think a very more traditional way on how to grow $5,000 to 50,000 would be to start like flipping cars and motorcycles. It's something that I did very actively last month, and I brought in a little bit over $24,000. I mean, that's huge for a month, right? But I was also buying cars over 100,000. But that's the really cool thing about investing when it comes down to both, everyday drivers and high-end cars. If you really understand the market itself, and let's say like I'm in the market for a Lotus, I will do my own due diligence, try to understand the overall market, the low points, the high points, what the average price within my location sells for, and then I will look at other locations within the United States to try to find a car that is lower priced than yours. And then let's say like I want to sell it here in California, I'll go pick up that car and then flip it here in California because I know the demand is much higher. I did the same thing when it came down to the Audi R8 that I bought.
Yeah.
I bought it in Mexico, sold it in Arizona in 48 hours, and the return was great. It was an amazing experience. I get to enjoy these cars. So when it comes down to wanting to get started for buying and reselling cars, being able to transform kind of your passion into a business, I think it's going to be an amazing experience for all those car enthusiasts out there that can really just view these, cars and vehicles as investments. And that's kind of how every purchase that I make from this point, my Alpha 7 GTR, the 2015 that I have right outside, I bought it being the lowest priced GTR in the country. I can post it for sale and I'll probably make $10,000 off of it.
What's the ROI that you typically see on your investment? Like if you were to invest the 5,000, what's a typical ROI that one can expect? I know everything, you could double your money very easily, but what's the average that you're saying for?
With a $5,000 investment, my first thing that I would go to, the first kind of vehicle would be a motorcycle. I love investing in motorcycles that are usually within my area. I live in Arizona, less than $3,000. The average motorcycle within my area, the ones that I usually focus on, sell for anywhere from $3,500 to $4,000. So all the margin that I push below $3,000 is margin of potential profit for myself. Yamaha R1s, Yamaha R6s, CBRs, Gixxers. I don't even ride motorcycles anymore, but because it requires such little capital and the return, just to put it into perspective, I have a 2006 Yamaha R1. I bought it for $3,500 and I have it posted for sale and receiving offers for $4,900.
Cool.
And did I do anything special, anything like that? I find what platforms they see the least demand in. I buy it in those and post it in the ones that see the highest demand. And it's just becoming familiar with the platforms, how to find the deals, how to negotiate, how to make sure that you're buying a good investment, and then making sure that whatever it is that you're flipping, that there's demand for it. And it's an amazing experience. Being able to transform like your passion into a business is one of the most amazing things. You're really passionate about real estate and all that good stuff, and being able to make money off of it is a byproduct of what you get to do.
Of course.
Right?
Plus, you should be doing videos. You guys comment down below if you should do videos like Hoovie's Garage. I bought the cheapest Nissan GTR in the country.
Wow,
those get views.
Yeah, I actually didn't even think about that. Yeah, I mean, I film a couple of videos like with the GTR for like launching and then picking up girls and stuff like that. But
no.
But I think when it comes down to having $5,000 and wanting to make net profits of over $50,000, that would be a huge avenue to look into. Partnerships with dealerships, so making sure that you can do on consignment sales, finding local vehicles that have high demand that you can profit off of, finding your niche. So that's definitely what we focus on.
And what would be the next one besides that?
Swing trading. I think when someone is barely getting into investing in the stock market, I would not suggest investing in lower cap stocks. I would recommend, I wish I would have started investing in mid to higher cap stocks because the patterns are a lot easier to understand. You're trading more quality companies that show consistent signs of an uptrend and buying the dips. It's putting it in a very simple kind of perspective, but I think there's huge potential for swing trading. And cryptocurrency, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
we'll talk about. I'll talk about crypto.
Yeah.
Cryptogram here.
But yeah, I think overall the stock market offers huge potential. If you're willing to dedicate the time, it does require a lot of due diligence and a lot of learning from your best practices and mistakes. A lot of simulation trading is something that I'd recommend from the very beginning. But being able to juggle both, maybe swing trading and buying and reselling motorcycles and cars, can be a huge starting point for maybe your 2018 goal or whatever the case may be. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, on the subject of crypto, before people unsubscribe and dislike and leave angry comments, I just want to say, from turning 5,000 to 50, it seems like that is very popular right now.
Yeah.
In terms of investing money is, cryptocurrency. And it almost reminds me with a lot of these little companies or a lot of these little ICOs like penny stocks, where they can pump, 1,000% in a week and then they dump or something happens. So with crypto, I'm not going to get into it with cryptocurrency. It's just because I know people are going to say, buy, whatever company.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people are suggesting, just buy crypto. And they say it jokingly, but it could be true.
Yeah.
But it's one of these things that's so risky. I think that is along the same mentality of also just saying, put it on black on roulette and do that a few times and then win each time and there you go.
Yeah, I think because it's become so accessible, easiest way that I can put it is so many people are overhyping because there's no legal limitation of what they can do when it comes down to cryptocurrencies, that regardless of what everyone else is telling you to do, I think investing in cryptocurrency is a very hot and trending topic. It's great. Making sure that you do your own due diligence before investing is vital. Do your own due diligence. Don't be afraid of risk. Just make sure that you know how to manage it.
Of course. And one other thing I want to say, it seemed like a lot of people too were afraid when Bitcoin dropped the other day.
Yeah.
Were freaking out. Anytime I think you're freaking out over an investment and you're worried and you're just like, what do I do? It went down 15%. What's going to happen? I think either you're too emotional about the investment or you have too much money invested in it.
100%.
I don't think you should ever be freaked out if anything ever goes down in value. You should either know that so well that you know that it's just a temporary hiccup, or you don't have as much money invested in it where all of a sudden your heart just sinks and you're like, oh no, Bitcoin Cash is taking over. What do I do?
Yeah.
So I think it's, when it comes to that sort of stuff, don't have that much money invested, or you really have to be an unemotional investor when it comes to these sort of things.
Definitely.
But as for me, I have a few different ways I think I would go about turning 5,000 into 50,000. And it also, I think, depends on how short of a time frame you want to do this. And feel free to jump in at any time if there's anything you think of. The one thing I really like where I think with 5,000 is it's a good amount to start a very low-cost business from in terms of, Amazon FBA or affiliate marketing or anything really online. It's a really accessible amount for really just anybody to kind of get started in that and start making money. I know someone recently was hitting me up on Snapchat, and I was, if people that's a plug right now, follow me on Snapchat. But he's making like $300 a day. He's 17 years old. His name is Daniel. Daniel, here's a shout out to you. But $300 a day with zero money doing marketing on Instagram. And it's a free way, but with $5,000, you can then start to get into maybe getting shout outs and paying for shout outs, or doing advertising and maybe doing some Facebook marketing. So I think affiliate marketing is a great way. And 5,000, you don't even need to start with 5,000. You could start with zero money, just with your time. And your time, by the way, is worth way more than $5,000. So I think that is a phenomenal way to get started with it. I started my real estate career with less, I would say about $5,000 actually. I spent less than $5,000 to start my real estate career. And that was getting my real estate license, paying for all the E&O insurance, the realtor fees, different things that were with the brokerage, signs, business cards, things like this. I spent under $5,000 to get started in real estate, and I made way more than $50,000. Actually, the first 10 months, I think I made about $35,000. And then after that, after I had my first sale, it was well over $60,000. The first year from, the $5,000 that I spent to get started. Yeah. Now that was a job, but same thing with anything really. Yeah. You're going to be spending your time. I don't think it's just making your 5,000 turn to 50,000 without spending any time on it. Even if you get lucky in crypto, I think it's still finding the right ICO or the right company or the right coin to invest in at the right time and having the knowledge to do that. Like, it's going to take time to learn something.
Definitely.
So I figure if you're doing so, you may as well spend time on a business and get to know that business, and I think that just makes you a better person all around, at least having that knowledge.
I think with having that goal in mind of, let's say, making $50,000, it's a goal, right? And you're going to work towards something. Let's say you have your normal day job. Many people that, many of us that have that. Having a normal day job and then working towards that goal of having $50,000 as an extra, as a goal for 2018, as extra revenue. Let's say you fall a little short and you make $25,000. $50,000 was the overall goal, but that spark and that getting started point, I think, is what really can be a huge catalyst for people in people's life because of all the new exposure and what happens throughout the entire process of getting to that point. That $25,000 might be the start the first year, but what can continue and snowball later throughout the years can expose you to set opportunities that are beyond what you can possibly imagine. So I think one of the biggest things is if you are thinking about starting a business, make sure that there's that structure, that planning, and that you're working towards it. But if you fall a little short, don't be afraid to continuously go after it, because I think I at 22 I would have had no idea that when I first opened, my brokerage account that my parents assisted me in opening, that later on, I would be sitting here with you, filming YouTube videos. Yeah. And it's just how things and set opportunities can present themselves. You want to make sure that you're prepared for it, that you're working towards it, so when it does present itself, that you're able to take advantage of it.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Even when it comes to goal setting, by the way, I wouldn't be afraid to aim too high on that. What my issue has always been, I've set really realistic goals that I felt confident I can hit them.
Yeah.
And that's honestly, I think that's actually worked against me, because every year I've hit exactly what I've wanted, but they haven't been these insane goals of just Lambos and stuff like that. Like they've been very realistic goals that are very attainable because I believe them.
Yeah.
So I think if I were to do anything different, I would have set higher goals.
Why do you think that now? I think I know why you think that now. Why do you think that it's a much more effective or better approach to? Because I love your strategy. I think you're conservative, right? And the way that you invest in, but it's very structured and it's organized, and I really do like that. But I think I know why. Why are you thinking about maybe investing a little bit more aggressively now?
I'm seeing things that I didn't know were ever possible, to be honest with you. I mean, that without going into a lot of detail, you see things that were never a reality to you before.
People,
and
right?
and many, yeah. And it was honestly, and it was you're exposed as you're into it, and as you grow in whatever business it is, you're exposed to more and more people. And then you realize, like, you're in your own little bubble, and you feel like everyone you associate yourself with is in a certain league. But when you start getting into it, and you realize, like, it's not impossible. It's like people are making $1 million a year. Like, that's one of my goals, would be to make over $1 million in a year. And you think to yourself, and I would, that like, formerly I would think you have to make, I would have to sell, $50 million in real estate to be able to get that. And, I'm doing in the 20s, so I had to basically double my sales volume and then get the rental income and this and that. But you realize that it's achievable and that there are no limits to it, really. I think really, without sounding too cheesy, I think that the biggest limit is the one you impose on yourself. And also the belief that if you can't do something, like, to me, that's always been unattainable, is to hit that $1 million in a year. So, but you see it's happening all the time.
And I think that's a great thing. So I think a very effective kind of approach to have is, I feel like I'm pretty traditional, but I've become a little bit more just risky because of set opportunities that I've been able to take advantage of. One of the biggest things that I'd recommend is, a lot of you that are watching have either a normal day job or do something that you do that provides you a stable income. I think that's amazing, and I really do condole a lot of people that do that. With that being said, I would, for 2018, make a friend, truly make a friend, or partner up with someone that is going to push you like no other. I have surrounded myself in 2017 with people that are so motivated that has broken. I felt like I was motivated before based on other people that I would surround myself with because I was doing extremely well. Now I started surrounding myself with people that were just as motivated as me or even more, and that were excelling quicker than I was. and that pushes you, to even perform better and to think even further outside the box. So my really, 2018 goal for each and every single one of you is to do the 5 to 50, but to also partner up with someone or to become friends with in close relation that you can do on a consistent basis, and that you hold yourselves accountable for some form of venture that you're going to be pursuing on top of what everyone else is doing. Everyone else can have a stable income. What is it that you're going to do that's going to set you apart? I think that's one of the beautiful things about getting started, is getting that ball rolling, having a goal in mind, and making sure you do it on a consistent basis.
Yeah. And this is one of those things too when it comes to mindset that I feel like a lot of people overlook mindset.
Yeah.
So many people, especially in the comment section, you know who you are, just like, I didn't come for this, just tell me exactly what to do.
Yeah.
And we can tell you, okay, like, you can buy cars, you can swing trade stocks, you can start a business with $5,000, you can do affiliate marketing, you can do Amazon FBA.
Yeah.
You can even, honestly, you can make $50,000 in a year with a YouTube channel, which is going to cost you you could do that with an iPhone, for real. Like, I know many people that are making over $50,000 a year without a ton of subscribers on YouTube, without any crazy stories or anything like that. There are so many ways to do this. So those are just some easy things that we can just here you go, here are some good ideas. But if you don't have the mindset to follow through or believe that's a reality, it's so easy just to quit right afterwards and realize, oh, you know what, I'm not going to do this, I'm going to do this instead, and then, oh, no, I don't like that, I'm going to go over here, or that's not possible.
Jumping into market to market to market, I think it's
yeah, but I feel like a lot of that comes down to mindset and surrounding yourself with the people and believing you can do it and setting a high goal. And that's why I feel like it all ties together. It's not just like, okay, put your money here and then do this and then work 10 hours a day for, several months and there you go. There's so much more that goes into it that you don't even think about.
Yeah.
The thing is too, as we're ending this year of 2017, I think it's really important, while we're on the topic, I think, of goal setting and this and that, and I'll make a separate video about, what my goals are, I think it's important to put it in video form. You guys and then I'm held accountable, then I gotta do it. But comment down below, whatever you feel like are unattainable goals for you, I would comment them down below. Make them sound super unrealistic, that you don't think it's gonna happen. I would love to hear from you guys and see exactly what you want to achieve and that you don't think you could. Make them seem unrealistic to you and then post them down below. Like if you don't think it's possible you can make $500,000 a year, put something like that. Whatever it is, comment down below. I'll read every single one of them. I'll try to respond to as many as I can. But you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I hope this was helpful to whoever's reached out to me on Snapchat asking these questions. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already started following Ricky, I know many of you guys do. I'll put his link down below, so feel free to check out his channel and make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Add him on Snapchat, Instagram. And if you're watching this too and you haven't subscribed, because my analytics tell me like 56% of you are not subscribed, dude, what you doing? Click the subscribe button. Also, feel free to smash the notification bell while you're at it, because it's just like they're so close by, so just like smash them both. And then also feel free to add me on Snapchat and Instagram. I post there pretty much daily, so if you want to be a part of it there, and you can hit me up asking me for questions too, and Ricky and I do videos on them.
Definitely.
Make sure to add me there. Thank you again for watching, and until next time.